get this started up. All of the graphics here in the 2025 Toyota GR Corolla Premium Plus with all the goodies. Let's take a quick walk around. I'm gonna roll this window down just in case it gets smart on us. Never happens, but you never want to get locked out of a car. Anyway, we love the GR Corolla. The GR Corolla is probably one of the most fun, modern sports hot hatches out there, and it's the hot hatch we never deserved. This is incredible. It's all-wheel drive. It has a really nice all-wheel drive system too. We've driven this in the canyons in California. I've driven it out in icy, snowy conditions on a test track with Bridgestone in Colorado, and today we're doing the real-world stuff here in Michigan with Topher Drives, my buddy, Sweet Baby B, Chris Brower. We're actually on a morning commute over to Chris Amos's, the other Topher, the Topher, and I'm going on an off-road trip, but we're taking the GR Corolla because it's what we've got. Somebody had some fun with this wheel at one point, but
rear bumper.
And the rear bumper. Anyway, just a heads up, not us. But all right, style-wise, the Premium Plus, it looks like pretty much every other GR Corolla. We've got the tri-exhaust, which is fun because the Civic Type R has 3 exhausts, so naturally this has 2 as well. One problem I will just point out with the practicality of this is, see, it's already smarter than us. Thank you. It's a hatchback, right? But like, it doesn't have that much space. This is not a deep cavernous thing. And then you've got this, I imagine there's a spare tire in here. Is that why?
Goop kit.
Goop kit. Oh my goodness. Look how tall that is. So this is actually pretty problematic in terms of like luggage space, because my friends have one of these as their chase cars, which they use in their toter home when they're towing the race cars to grid life events. And so they put 2 race cars and a GR Corolla in there. The problem is when there's 3 of them in the car, they can't actually fit all their stuff. So usually whoever's in the back is holding a bunch of stuff too. Yeah. Civic Type R, so much more room, but obviously not all-wheel drive.
So this one even more so. This has the dealer accessory chassis brace.
Oh yeah,
which
check this out.
Looks excellent.
It does look really cool, but it means that when
limits your pass through.
Yeah, if you're gonna do the seats folded down, you are now more limited with space. So that's kind of a problem. So it's just something to think about, because it's really easy to look at a hatchback and just assume, oh, it'll have so much space. Like my Lexus GX460 has about as much space in reality as my Civic Type R, unless I'm playing the height game, but I can fit all the stuff that I fit in my Lexus into my Civic. So the GR Corolla definitely is somewhat limited. Let's get under the hood, because this is like probably the strangest thing about this car is the fact that it's a 3-cylinder turbo. And would you get that for me? Because I'm probably going to fumble with it. You already know where the things are. I love these little vents there for cooling.
Yeah, so these are exclusive now to the Premium Plus.
Okay, because Marizo's gone.
Marizo's gone. So the Premium Plus is what we would have known as the Circuit Edition in 2023. So we got the carbon roof, the vents, we have extra cooling up front, which is new for 25.
Yeah. And there it is. It ticks away. It's a noisy powertrain, but it's incredibly potent. This has 300 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. That's up from last year. Yep. Is that right?
Up from 273.
And it's a joy. It's really good. It's a little laggy, but the thing is, I think the lagginess actually adds character to it. To me, this feels like it's like a Group B car. Yeah. It's so cool. So let's just jump in and drive it because it is cool. You can get these in an automatic now, but I would recommend a 6-speed manual. Oh, and let's just do a quick intro in the back. There's Barb. Barb, actually, it's Emily because she's not wearing the NASCAR jacket, but Chris's girlfriend, Emily, you've seen her in a lot of road trip videos if you watch Chris, but she's got her big dumb cup in a cup holder here, but there's actually great cup holders in the doors as well. It's a little tricky because this is a little shallower than you'd think, like that's not going to fit in there for sure, but even like I had a root beer yesterday from Bill's and I couldn't really get it in there properly without like almost knocking the cap off. Totally fine. You get the suede sort of inserts here with a little bit of leather. So this is definitely more grown up and premium feeling than the more base cars. That's great. What else? Oh, good God. A handbrake, baby. And this is just such a godsend because I've actually played with that in the snow. It's really nice.
Same.
And it's just nice because it immediately decouples that rear diff, the rear part of the drivetrain. And what's great about this car is that it really does feel like a proper all-wheel drive car. It doesn't feel like it's just a front-wheel drive that's trying to play an all-wheel drive game. The one thing I will mention, though, it is a little difficult to drive smoothly. So here we go as I clunk my way off the line. apologize that lag. A little bit of buffeting, in case you wanted the full super experience. But I find in the high revs, like if I'm kind of beating it up, it's easier to drive this car smoothly. We're going left.
Yep. Yeah, so Toyota actually changed some things with the clutch pedal for 25 to make it easier to shift it at high RPMs smoother.
That worked. It did not work in the low end.
No.
Because it is genuinely one of the most difficult cars I've ever driven to drive smoothly in the low end. And I'm finding like, okay, as long as I kind of get it up around 4,000 RPM, I can play this game nicely.
Right.
But I have a hard time like that 1-2 off the line if I'm being like a gentle little dude. What's incredible is just how darty and responsive this front end is. It just, sorry Barb, I know you're not feeling this, but we've got to do it for the sake of the video. Everyone thank Barb for her service. This car though is just such a little track star. I think it's incredible.
It does make me a little car sick.
Okay, this is the other thing. They stiffened it up for 25, which for the sake of like diving into this corner, maybe a lovely experience, but for the sake of Barb holding on to her sourdough and blackberry jam on toast this morning, I don't know. She might blow chunks in this car. So Toyota needs to be ready for some things to spill. There's great cup holders, but good golly, when we are on the highway, it definitely wants to like launch everything everywhere.
Yeah.
In terms of just being a nice car though, I do feel like having the Premium Plus, despite its expense at $49,000, I think you have to do this because otherwise it really does start to feel like a Corolla, which isn't a bad thing, but it feels like a base low end sort of car. And when you go for the higher end trim level, I do just think it amplifies the experience. And if you're going to be playing the game of I'm buying this instead of a Civic Type R, well, you might as well get as much as you can out of it. See, you gotta be really gentle on that 1-2 to avoid Barb's tum-tum from erupting.
You're gonna take this left-hander up here. So is this van.
We can. Nah, I'm gonna be a nice guy.
We'll do it one more time.
Yeah, we'll go around.
To it, yeah.
See, this is what respecting the drive is about, guys. It's about not cutting off the van with the ladders.
That's right.
Despite the fact that it like totally could have worked, but you just, you know, we gotta be nice. We gotta be nice. And we've got the brakes for it.
This is where the Chevy Cruze wouldn't give us a pass by in the Civic Hybrid.
Exactly.
Or the point by, rather.
We'll get around him. He is really taking his time. It does have a great sound when you're on it. When you're not on it, it does have a little bit of a rattly sound to it.
You want sport mode?
Sport mode, yes.
Okay, I got you.
She's a good little car. This thing rips.
It's quick.
It is quick. We've got 3 people in the car, and it feels like a proper little
with the air
beast.
conditioning on.
With the AC going. My binaural audio is about to become monaural audio. It's gonna fall out of my ear.
Trying to find my Zen.
We going this way?
That's right. Follow that truck.
All right. So anyway, if you had any questions about this thing having chops in a corner, like it's nuts. It is so good. And honestly, I find it to be safer and easier to drive than the Civic Type R because it's not tail happy.
No.
Like you watched me clutch in, downshift to second as I've established this corner, mostly because I'm realizing, ooh, I'm not gonna have the torque for this on the exit that I want. And it's just so incredible how stable these cars are. Like, and I love the power delivery. When we were in the canyons, I think that was the most incredible thing, was being able to get on power in places so early that I just never dreamed was possible. And never dreamed it would be possible in a car that has a Toyota badge on it that isn't some super duper fancy thing. We're following him? Okay.
Yeah, so with the stiffening of the suspension for 2025, that was kind of their focus, was to keep stability through a high-speed corner once already established. Is like literally exactly what it says in their press release.
Toyota, you guys must like me right now. That's it's like
that's what they were
speaking
after.
your language. They did it.
And then they raised the mounts for the rear trailing arms so it doesn't squat as much under acceleration, which it does still squat a little bit, but I don't know. There are certain things that I probably would have left alone because this car was really dialed in. You'll take a right.
Sure.
It was so dialed in already in 23, but Toyota is one of those companies that they always have to be tweaking things. Like, they can't sit still.
What's funny is they announce it. Honda will tweak things and they almost don't tell you. Like, every single year of the S2000, different.
Yeah. Yep.
Literally every year. Yes, there's AP1, AP2, those are major differences, but the suspension tuning, from what I understand, is different in every single year.
Yeah.
Minimal changes, little things. And so if you really wanted your car to be like, oh, I want a stock 2007, like, you have to really think about, like, well, what was the damper setting in 2007 versus 2008?
I always think about if someone wrecks their car and they need a suspension component, like, they have to make sure it's from the correct year so it all matches.
But now it doesn't seem weird because Tesla makes it a complete impossibility.
Oh, yeah.
If you want a Model 3 to be the same, they change them like daily.
Yeah.
All right, I do think that the trick to driving this car smoothly is just beating the snot out of it. Because I was driving it like a grandma the other day, and I was just like clunking my way, bucking Bronco, and now I'm just like, oh, floor it? Just floor it. It's fine.
No, don't floor it. Floor it.
I don't know if they changed the shifter. It just feels a little nicer than I remember.
You know why?
Why?
Because this doesn't have the optional Marizzo shift knob. This is the standard shift knob, and it feels much better in the hands. It's smaller, and it complements the shifter a lot better.
Okay, yeah, there's just so many things about this car that, like, I previously was like, oh, it feels a little tinny here, it feels like a base car here. Yeah, this is nicer. Yeah, this is nicer. I do think, like, I'm the first one to go off on a rant about wanting gauges and old school analog dials and things like that. I think that for cars like the Civic Type R, the GR Corolla, non-jewelry necessary cars, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking Bentley, we're not talking Rolls-Royce, we're not talking even BMW. I just think that this works so well. You're giving me a big shift indicator up here. You're giving me a great, obvious, understandable tachometer that tells me information. And it changes color, so... And it doesn't change color the second it's gonna hit the rev limiter. It actually goes red and gives me a moment to understand. So, like, somebody who likes driving did this and understood, because so many cars you get in and it's like, oh, we're getting to the red, and then it's like, oof, you immediately hit the rev limiter.
Fuel cut, harsh.
So I've got to give Toyota a ton of credit for kind of just dialing in the way this looks. It feels great.
The only thing I will say, and I do agree with you on the main points, so the gear selector in the middle and then the rev counter at the top, or if you're just in your normal mode, the just kind of like...
It's a lovely tachometer,
I think the two side gauges and all of the little lights, like the little indicators, make it look a little bit jumbled. But the cool thing about this is you can actually get rid of those. You can turn off the side gauges and you don't have to have them.
I didn't preload, so it just like had no torque off the line. But again, I think what you have to do with this car is, like, you can, we love to play the turbo lag game. No. This car, like, embraces its turbo lag, and I think that's the game. It's like if you're really tall, wear skinny pants. Like, embrace your tallness. Like, if you're, if you have like certain features, like, just fully embrace those features and make that part of the vibe. I see exactly where we're going.
Yep.
This car, I feel like, embraces the things that sometimes others would look at as faults. If you're Adrian Brody, don't hide that nose, baby. Like, make sure your haircut is focused on showcasing the nose.
And then you'll take a right down there at the light.
Yeah.
Yep.
Starting to be like a little local up here.
Yeah, you know where you're at now. Gives you a chance to just go flat out.
Yeah.
Which is what this car likes.
It does like that. What do we know about reliability of these things?
I know some of them have blown up on track, but I think as far as a street car goes, which is really where this is at home, I know they've stiffened things for 25, but prior to 25, I know they had some cooling system issues on track, which they have addressed this year with an optional secondary radiator, which the Premium Plus comes standard with. But as far as like just daily driver reliability, I haven't heard of any problems. I think the only time that these have issues is when they're like on track for hours on end.
Sure.
They blow up.
There's a bit of gear train whine, so let's just like hone in and listen to this real quick. Let's see, turn that off. Ready? So nothing, and then I'm going to get on throttle. You'll hear a little bit of whine. And you can hear the turbo. Ready? It's so cute, man. So look, I think as a daily driver, if you are not, that is first gen Odyssey. Oh my god, dude, I'm all about that. This is the goods, baby. I love Michigan. People keep wild stuff alive. I think as a daily driver, this car, if you're not a particularly smooth or patient manual gearbox operator, I would steer clear of the manual gearbox. I like, if you don't have the patience to get this thing around smoothly, you have 4 or 5 seats. No one's gonna want to get in this car with you. This is like the proper nightmare of like bucking Bronco manual gearbox if you're not smooth with it. So if you're not a patient driver, like just get the automatic, because you won't have any friends. They will not want to get in this car. If you are someone who understands how to drive a manual gearbox and you really are patient and you're able to adapt to a car, which this car has taken me a little bit of time to adapt to, and I'm still not quite there, and I'll admit that, it's great. It's a really nice, entertaining thing. But it's funny getting out of a 2004 350Z, nailing every shift, hitting every rev match, like not even thinking, just intuitive. This is not intuitive in that way. But if you are going to redline all the time, you might get away with it just fine. But otherwise, make sure that you're going to have the space you need in this vehicle, because despite it looking like a practical 4-door hot hatch, it is somewhat limited in that respect. And, you know, the other side of it is it's a really comfortable car in terms of seats, but this new upgraded suspension, put that in quotes, it's stiff. It is stiff, and it makes so much sense, because like the way this thing is dialed in for a corner is so confidence inspiring and wonderful and capable. However, in the real world, on the highway, I think hitting expansion joints and concrete changes and all that stuff, like it gets old pretty darn quick, and it'll just bounce. So maybe that's an argument for a less expensive used GR Corolla in a higher trim level. I don't know, but just food for thought. So make sure that you've done your homework when you go after this, and don't just assume, oh, I'm just going to get the new one, because the new one is different in certain ways. And those might be appealing ways, they might be unappealing ways. So just make sure however that's going to work out for you is the thing you actually wanted, and don't assume just because your friend had a GR Corolla from 23 that your 25 is going to be the same. It is not. But otherwise, what a great sports car, what a surprisingly capable powertrain, and what a showcase of an all-wheel drive system from Toyota. Just magical stuff, and I think this is one of those surprising little cars that on a back road, on a mountain road, on a canyon road, your rich friend and his 911 Turbo S or whatever is going to get a real run for his money when he tries to chug up a corner behind you in this, because you are not even going to touch the brakes. It's psychotic. So, attaboy Toyota. I just got to do my journalist due diligence and point out the things that may or may not appeal or not appeal to you. But in terms of being a fast, capable, psychotic little car, mwah. God bless. So, thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive. I have to go drop this off, get into a Ford Ranger Raptor, and drive to Wyoming. What are we thinking? Why did I agree to this? I'm going to drive 20 hours to Wyoming. What? How did I so casually agree to that? I'm nuts. Chris is nuts. Anyway, don't forget to respect the drive. and I'll see you in the next one, and it will likely be very out of sequence because my upload schedule is crazy. So don't ask if I'm still in Michigan next month, because I'm not. I'm everywhere. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one.